Is this thing on?
Are you ready, Matt?
You're listening to Box Office Bingers
with Matt Diaz and Ernesto Santos.
Good evening, folks. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Box Office Bingers.
And the only way that I know how to do it is to find you a bloody good dump.
He's my friend. I don't have friends. I got family.
I can do this all day.
You know, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
Now we're going to move over to our foreign film of the month, which is the Golden Globe nominated The Life Ahead, available on Netflix. Ernesto, what were your thoughts?
I think first and foremost, Italian is such a beautiful language. Like I felt like when I was watching this film, I was more amazed at how beautiful the Italian language is. I mean, and it was nice to kind of understand it because it's very similar to Spanish, but not exactly. But as far as the film goes, I thought it was good. I thought it told a good story. It was interesting. I really liked Momo, that kid, Ibrahimi Gueye, who played Momo. I'm pretty sure I just fucked his name up.
You did a better job than I would have, so congratulations on trying.
Him and Sophia Loren, who plays Madame Rosa.
Yeah.
I thought they paired really well together. She did very, come off as like a no nonsense grandmother. And Momo is obviously someone who is a kid who needed some guidance. He's being rough on the streets. He's selling drugs. He's stealing shit. He needed help and guidance. And this movie is basically the story of that, of her taking him in and kind of giving him purpose. I felt like they left the ending. I felt like was kind of like they left some things up in the air. Like,
yeah.
They set up this whole storyline arc with him and the shop owner and got him to show him, get him some responsibility, but they left them at a very bad place. Like the last scene you see with him and Momo is him running away, saying that he doesn't need to give him advice.
Yeah,
that he's not his dad. But I don't know. I felt like maybe we could have gotten one more scene, maybe post funeral with them together, of him maybe like working with them. But they left it up in the air as to where his future was going to go. But they set up a nice foundation for him to start being better. But I felt like they didn't show us that enough. I didn't get enough of his end result to make me believe that he's destined for a better life based off of what Madame Rosa has instilled in him before she died.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest here, Ernesto. I didn't care for the movie.
Okay.
It
was okay. I fell asleep twice, but it was I at least kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I there were some parts in there that I was okay, but I felt like there was just a disconnect with me throughout the entire movie. I felt like the kid was just always being, like, for lack of a better term, a little shit when he wanted to be, but it wasn't consistent throughout.
Agreed.
Like he was being, rude when the story called for being rude, and then he was being nice when the story called for being nice, but the transition was not well at all. Like, I felt like they didn't like the transition between scenes and moments, and like when you felt like you should have a character development at this time didn't work for me. But what the story was trying to do, it was a sweet movie. It was a sweet tale. But I felt like the characters is where I felt disconnected. Like I see all the parts, I know what you were trying to do, but I just didn't feel that. And that's kind of where I kind of what I felt with it. I felt like it had a hard time balancing characters' emotions.
Yeah. To be like, it was like there are certain parts that I enjoyed, but I felt like somewhere towards the end, and that's kind of what I meant. Like somewhere around the end, it just started not to necessarily fall apart, but it just seemed like, all right, well, we're done telling the story. Because she kind of just, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they set a lot of things up. Like us going into that small room down at the bottom. I didn't feel like there was a big enough payoff for that. His whole relationship with Yusuf, the kid who he was staying with, they kind of, well, let me take that back, because they did kind of wrap it up where like he was saying he wasn't gonna miss him, but you could totally tell that like he had built a connection, like almost like brother like with this kid, and
Right.
It was really like you could see it hurt him that he was leaving.
Yeah.
So I will give them that one, but I felt like the with the other mother, with the girl, with the mother, with the little boy, like they were like we got to know about her, but then like there was no payoff. Like I felt like there were there were a lot of things about her story that needed to be explored, and we didn't explore a single one of them. Not a single one.
Yeah, and even with Madame Rosa's character, like I understand that she's been through a lot, and I understand that she takes children in and kind of help them out in their time of need.
Like a foster mom.
She's like a foster mom, right? Exactly. But like, I never felt her nurture, and I think that was my problem with her character. Like, yeah, I take you in, and yeah, I'm gonna be stern. And yeah, I'm going to put you in the right direction, but I didn't feel there was ever a moment where she nurtured him to feel that response to where Momo eventually got to, where I need to take care of her, you know, literally to her dying, like to her deathbed. Like I didn't get that connection. Also, like he all of a sudden started dealing drugs. Like I felt like I wanted to know, how did you get here? Like, I know you've been going from foster home to foster home. You eventually ended with the doctor. The doctor sends you off to Madame Rosa. I understand that. But, like you know, why are you mean? That's the part I don't understand. I feel like he's upset because of this current situation. And then,
yeah,
like...
they kind of mentioned it a little bit because his mom beat his dad to death. I'm sorry.
No, his
dad beat his mom to death, and then
Yes.
and that's how he became, you know, homeless and on the streets, and
Yeah.
kind of
I mean,
like
that's a dark
bitter
story.
little shit. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
dark. I think I leave some of that up to like, well, this is a different society. Like their rule, like, you know, it's not America. So
Right.
like, I feel like you have to look at it with like, well, I don't know what the customs are. Like maybe it is that easy. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I mean, we're not. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying, but I felt like some of that I'm more for when it comes to like foreign films where I don't understand like the customs and the culture 100%. I tend to be more forgiving because of that.
And that's fair. I've also felt like, you know, on the other end of that, this like, all right, so you're becoming a drug dealer, and I feel like Momo is two different people. But I didn't see the transition. So you're out here, you're selling drugs, you're doing great things, and then you go back home, and is it because you're dealing drugs that you're happier and therefore you feel sympathetic to the people that you're living with? But then also, on a flip of a dime, you could be rude and mean to them. Like, but also, like, I feel like he was getting happy from selling drugs, not from Madame Rosa. So, and that was the disconnect that I was having, is like, I don't think she's providing you happiness. I think money's providing you happiness, not her. Like, even like the drug dealer guy, he was like, no, you got to live with her so you can be in a stable area so you can help me sell these drugs.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just never felt like, again, when it came down to the end, and you mentioned it was falling apart, when he's at the point where he's like, I need to take care of this woman, like, I don't see how he got there. I don't see what she did, because halfway through the movie, she started losing her mind.
But I think that was the point. It's like her losing her mind was him realizing that he needed to help her. I mean, I didn't agree with it 100%. But I see. I was like, oh, okay, I see what you tried to do. I see what you did there.
Yeah, and then, you know, even his reasoning of like leaving, like I'm no longer going to sell drugs. I think that needed to happen, but again, we could have played that scene out in a different way. It just felt like that he's like, all right, I'm done now. Like there was no big moment that happened with Madame Rosa to be like, whoa, this really changed my life now. I now need to stop doing what I'm doing. And you even made a good point where he was with the guy who owned the store. Like, you can see that was slowly building into something, but the last time we see them, they were in an argument.
Yeah,
and
I would have liked to have seen more of that.
Yeah, and so like I feel like that like he was doing more, it's to some sense, than Madame Rosa does. And, not to discount what she was doing, because she was the one that got him the job, or at least connecting with the people. But like I feel like he was doing more than she was, like what we were seeing on screen. I think she was just putting things in motion, and the people that he was surrounding, that the people that she was allowing him to surround himself with were being the positive influence, and she was just being the orchestrator of that, but not being the positive influencer. She was just like putting you in the right direction, which I guess that could be the point. I felt like that maybe, with her getting, I guess, dementia. I guess eventually was it dementia?
They never really explained it.
I felt like that was kind of out of the blue. And I felt like that if we really wanted to focus on this little boy becoming a better person and Madame Rosa being the person to get you to a better person, then I feel like we should have stuck with that story and not, she's dealing with this illness and then eventually I thought the ending was a little strange. Like he took her out of the hospital to put her back into the cave, which I know she felt more comfortable with and was probably more satisfied dying there in peace rather than being strapped up in a hospital bed. I understand that aspect of it. But it felt a little out of place. And again, to your point, they kind of left the movie open-ended where like you feel like he's in a better place, but I also felt like that one wrong move and he's back to where he was.
Yeah, it didn't feel stable enough to be an ending. It didn't feel like a stable enough ending. Like, oh, he's going to be with him and things are going to get better and we got to do this and X, Y, and Z. I feel like I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, we don't even know where he's going to be now, because technically the Guardian, well, I guess he's going to go back to the Doctor. I'm going to assume that, because that technically was his Guardian, and Madame Rosa was just looking after him for 2 months. But yeah, it was, I understood all the motions that was happening, but I didn't feel it, and I think that was my big issues with the movie. So it was okay. Like, I just didn't feel anything. There were moments I felt like it was bored, and then there was also moments I questioned, like, why is this movie even nominated? I don't understand it.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right?
I don't kind of see why it's nominated, but, well, I don't know. Yeah. Somebody does, apparently.
Somebody does. A couple of fun facts about this movie, Ernesto. Sophia Loren, right? Did I say that name right? Yeah. Sophia Loren. She came out of retirement for this movie. I believe she was retired. She hadn't acted in 10 years. She's a very famous Italian actress, and she came out of retirement to be in this movie, mainly because the director was her son.
That would be a good reason.
That would be a good reason. Her son directed the movie, and so she came out, and I guess did he write this? No, it was a different writer. It was based off of a book, as we said here. So I guess he was doing this, and he wanted his mom to play the role of Madame Rosa, and I think she did a great job. I think it was well acted. I don't think anyone had a bad role in it. I thought the acting was great in it. Again, I think the story lies within its writing and its story direction. That's where it fell a little off. Also, fun fact, Sophia Loren, and I did, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, Ernesto. I went back and forth. I did some of it in subs. I did some of it in dubs. I'm going to put it out there. Because I started with subs, then I went to dubs, then I went back to subs because the dubs weren't that great, and then I think I saw a decent amount of movie in subs, and then I went back to dubs by the end of it. But I found out that Sophia Loren, she did the English dubs for this movie.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's like
that's good.
So that helped me kind of go back to dubs when I found that information, because I was like, oh, okay, so the way that she was acting and like she carried her voice in when she did it the first time, it would be translated in English, hopefully the same way. So I was like, oh, I was like a little bit more at ease when I switched to dub a little bit. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of seeing the movie. It's
all right. I'm here for it now.
I'm okay with it. But yeah, it was just okay. I would love to see the other nominations for for these. Unfortunately, they're just not accessible to us at the moment, so we can't really we can't really give a too much of a deep dive into the foreign film category of the Golden Globes. But this movie was just all right.
Agreed.
All right. And there you go. That's our foreign film of the month. As always, we would like to hear your opinions or your recommendations on our next foreign film of the month. We take in your recommendations, and we like to broaden our horizons, Ernesto, to different films around the world. And so hopefully
we've seen some pretty good ones.
I think so,
and we've seen some interesting ones.
Yeah. I think and this has been fun.
For the most part, it's been good. For the most part, it's been good though.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think, seeing different stories around the world is as a viewer of movies, I think that's kind of fun. Like, I kind of enjoy hopping into another world. I'm like, all right, in a different country, how would you make a movie? Exactly. And kind of diving into that aspect. So hopefully, as you guys have been listening to us since we started Foreign Film of the Month, we've been broadening your horizons and watching films you might not have heard of or even bothered to see before. But again, as always, we want to hear your recommendations because I know we're not the only ones watching foreign film. So if you have any good recommendations, reach us out at our Gmail at boxofficebingers@gmail.com or our social media channel. Hey, thanks for listening to this edited version of our weekly podcast, Box Office Bingers. If you want to hear the full version of all of our episodes, which includes us discussing entertainment news, movie and TV reviews, guest interviews, and other things we've been watching, you can find us on wherever you listen to podcasts.
And if you want more from us, be sure to hit that subscribe button and find us on our social media channels on Instagram at boxoffice_bingers, Facebook at Box Office Bingers, email at boxofficebingers@gmail.com, and Matt, we're even on the Tiki-Takis. We're on the Tiki-Takis at Box Office Bingers. Once again, thanks for listening.